Yeah, no problem.
Thanks to you for the invitation.
Not a problem at all. Now, we've been playing the new track on our show now for about a week, and people are absolutely loving it. So, for those people out there that are just discovering you guys, give us a little bit of background on your band. Tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, we started in 2016, and it was me and Kevin, the main guitarist. And we didn't know each other, but we worked at the same job, so we became friends. And he was playing guitar, and I was singing. So he said, "Hey, let's make a band." So it started out just like that. And a year later, we started doing shows. We've put out a first demo quite early, and we've always just loved music so much, and we're trying to play the kind of music that we like and that we think people will like too.
Yeah. So, what kind of music did you?
We're big.
So, what kind of music did you guys grow up listening to?
It started out mostly with pop punk.
Yeah.
The first entry in that style of music. I listened to quite a few emo bands, and the emo bands with a little bit of screaming opened my horizon to some more heavy bands, and from there I just started discovering more and more and more.
Yeah. You mentioned that you wanted the band to play the type of music that you liked. Describe your sound a little bit to people out there. What was the sound that you guys wanted to try and capture when you first started out with the band?
Well, the thing we really wanted to do was we really like some melodic hardcore bands. So hardcore bands that have really beautiful melodies. And we really like Stick Your Guns and Ghost Inside and some kind of bands like that. But we also very like the violence and the drops, the breakdowns and the aggressive side. So what we wanted to do is try to blend the most, to try to have the most melodic sound, but at the same time have the most violent drop, maybe.
Yeah.
So we tried to do a kind of contrast between those two things.
Yeah.
And that was really the first idea of the band.
So By a Thread is such a personal song when you sit down and listen to the lyrics. Tell us a little bit about where these lyrics came from and how tough were they to write, because they are so personal.
Yeah. Well, the whole album, the lyrics kind of resolve around that, anxiety problems, substance abuse, and things like that. So it seems maybe a little worse than it is in the song, because I'm writing a song and I don't really put any barriers. So, but sometimes when you listen to the song, you're like, damn, is that guy okay? But I just like to focus the negative on the song, and it's mostly about things I've been through over the years, but it revolves around anxiety and some personal problems that I think I have still some work to do about.
I suffer from anxiety as well, and I find it really tough to write about. Did you find it tough to write lyrics like that, or do you actually find it kind of therapeutic to write it?
Well, maybe a bit of both, because yes, it's pretty personal. So sometimes I think maybe I don't want to be judged or something like that. But no, I think it's a little bit therapeutic too. It helps quite a bit, but no, I don't think. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Well, for the most part, I write. I need to be really in the zone. Sometimes I try to write and nothing came up, but yeah, sometimes I just sit and it comes out like that. And one or two songs on the album that's the vibe is the lyrics are positive, really more positive. But the ideas are mostly
aggressive.
Yeah. I don't know. It comes. It's the thing that comes most naturally when I write the lyrics.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the album. How did you guys go about recording the album? Where was it recorded? And was it difficult to make an album during a year when a lot of us were in lockdown?
Yeah, actually, it was different. I think we worked with Maxime Lacroix from House Again Studios in Quebec. He
was a member of Blind Witness.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was
the guitarist of Blind Witness.
Yeah, it's a pretty big band.
He's a super cool guy. He helped a lot with the writing. But basically, we had some riff, and we just got in studio and just started composing. Actually, so we did 2 weekends of composing. 3 weekends.
What? 3 weekends.
3 weekends to compose the lyrics and actually not the lyrics, but
the main
main frame of the songs
of the album.
And we actually worked as pretty much Kevin came with the ideas, and we all just worked on the ideas to make it greater and more solid.
Yeah, and we did our pre-production with him. It was the first time. So we did our pre-production, and he really helped during the process of the creation of the album. So we really hit it off, and he's a really nice guy, and he's really easy to work with. Absolutely.
Yeah. And did you guys have to put anything off because of the lockdown or the pandemic? Like, what's it like for you guys there now? Are you able to go out and do shows yet?
Well, I think in Canada was not that bad since we were in the studio around August and June, June and August, I think.
Yeah, but
it was complicated because we are not all in the same region.
Mais ça nous a fourré un peu, man.
Yeah,
on n'a pas pu faire tourner.
Yeah,
the EP, Deliver Me, the EP that we put out, we had a kind of tour each weekend. That we had a few shows. So it was the tour to promote the EP, and with the virus, we couldn't do it. So that fucked us up a bit. And for the album, the album that's we're gonna come out with. Well, for this one, it was we wanted to do a few shows to promote the album too, but right now we're kind of in the void with that because we don't want to prepare things and to finally have another lockdown, so we won't be able to play shows. So we're kind of on ice with the shows right now.
Yeah. So how are you going to use that time? Are you guys already starting to work on new music? Because I know here in Australia, well, where I am in Melbourne, we were in lockdown for 8 months, and some bands have come out of that lockdown with enough music for 4 albums. So what are you guys up to now?
Well, actually, today we're just started composing some riffs for the next album.
But Kevin, the lead guitarist, he sometimes he's at home and he just picks up his guitar and he plays riffs, and he always records them with his cell phone. So sometimes when you think he has really good ideas, he show them to us, and we try to work around it.
Yeah.
So when we're writing an album, we're focusing solely on this album, but there's always a few riffs in his cell phone. He's always composing a bit. So
he's always working on something else.
We usually have a few riffs in backup that we can work a bit. But we started this week, I think, writing more seriously, checking to write some new music.
We actually have a region lockdown, so I'm not from their same region as Jim and Kevin, so it's kind of weird to see each other, and we do and we have some difficulties with that, but we're trying to write some music a bit, so we don't go unactive.
We have a curfew right now. You guys have that?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we had a curfew for part of the lockdown when we had to be home by 10 p.m. But for a majority of the lockdown, we actually weren't allowed out of the house unless we were going to a chemist or a supermarket.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly the same for us, but it's 8 p.m. for us.
The first lockdown was like that, but right now we're on a curfew, and it's 8 p.m.
Wow.
We go out 8 p.m. And this guy doesn't live in the same city as me, so he come here, but he gotta sleep at my house because he can't go home.
Yeah.
So the curfew is quite a bit
difficult to figure out.
We cannot do practice, and it's quite a pain in the ass, but I think it will be over soon for that.
Oh, that's great news. Yeah, we've just got live music started back here. We're down to 0.
Wow, really?
Yeah, we're just down to 0.
Oh, you guys are lucky.
We're down to 0 COVID cases at the moment in the city that I'm in. So they've allowed live music, but it's really weird because you have to be seated. So you go to a heavy show and you've got to be seated. So it's still there, though. That's the good part.
Yeah. You got to be seated, and there's going to be space between people, I guess.
Yeah. So, guys, I guess the big question to finish off, where can people grab the album from? There's a lot of people here that are loving the track. Where can they grab a copy of the album from?
Well, I want to do physical copies, but everyone in the band, we will do physical copies eventually, but we will start, it will be everywhere on every streaming platform available. We have a Bandcamp, pretty much anywhere we can think of, except physically at the beginning.
Awesome. Well, guys, I think it's time to take another listen to the track on the show now. So what would you like to say to everybody out there before they take another listen to it?
Well, first, thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure. And thank you for everyone who likes the track. We're really grateful. And we could. We're glad we worked hard on it, and there's much more to come, so be alert.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And Cassia, thank you so much for organizing it as well.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure, guys. Thanks for having us, Dave.
Not a problem at all. I'll let you guys go, but have a great night, and hopefully we do get to see you guys in Australia sometime soon.
Oh, yeah. I hope so much.
Yeah.
Definitely. All right, guys. We'll chat later.
Yeah.